Hi guys! Recently on Instagram, I posted a question saying, what new videos do you guys want me to create? And one of the top picks was, how do I talk to toxic people and toxic family members? This is my answer. Hey guys, if you're new to my channel, please click the little subscribe button and the bell somewhere down here so you get notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today we're talking about something a little difficult. A lot of people that I work with would identify with being highly sensitive. So if you're one of those people, please keep watching. If you're not, also please keep watching because this applies to you too. But a lot of highly sensitive people in general have issues with family members, because if you're highly sensitive, more often than not you feel different than the rest. You feel a little bit emotionally invalidated. Maybe you even had emotionally immature parents or people who were codependent in your family or narcissistic and didn't really cater to your emotional inner world. So there's an issue right there, right? And also, by the way, if you're what I would call a wounded empath, you probably attracted some narcissistic relationships or toxic people in your life. So I think the reason this question is asked a lot is because many people have issues with having boundaries around certain types of people. One of the biggest misinterpretations I hear in my work is people think once we do all this inner work and once we are empowered empaths, or, let's say healed, highly sensitive people, that we will no longer attract toxic people, and this is not the truth. We will always be around toxic people because there are a lot of people in the world that still have inner wounds that they need to heal. So what I say is, when you do this inner work, what changes is you start to have discernment, you start to realize your own worth, and you start to realize what's going on with others. See, up until now, when you do the healing, often highly sensitive people are self-blamers. By nature, we're pleasers, we're self-blamers, and we think anything that goes wrong is because of me. And what you start to sort of realize as you do this work is, holy shit, it was never me. There was never really anything wrong with me. I just had emotions that no one was validating and no one could understand. And when you start to realize that there's nothing wrong with you, you're just awakening, or you're sensitive, or you're clued into some things that other people don't like you being clued into. When you start to realize that there's nothing wrong with you, you can then start to see people for who they truly are, rather than always thinking everyone else is above you, or always thinking that everyone else is better than you, or always thinking that you have to give your power to some authority figure out there rather than claiming the wise guide inside. When you start to do the inner work, you start to have that discernment of feeling as well, really starting to trust your inner guidance system, or your emotional guidance system, I should start by saying. Your emotional guidance system is giving you clues of what's going on. It's giving you sort of cues of, are your thoughts in alignment with your source, or are your thoughts in alignment with your wounding? If your thoughts are in alignment with your wounding, you're going to have a negative emotional experience. You're going to have a trigger. You're going to have anxiety. Anxiety comes up a lot when we're around toxic people because we're being reminded of the thing that hurt us, being emotionally invalidated or manipulated in some way. And so as highly sensitive people who are unaware, we just bought into that being true. We bought into, oh, I'm being manipulated, meaning what they're saying is what's wrong with me. But when you start to heal, you realize what these toxic people are saying is not what's wrong with me or true about me. It's what's wrong with them. When we put that blame back where it really belongs, I don't mean to blame people, but I mean, it's the opposite of internalizing the shame. When we internalize shame, that's self-blame. So when we give back the shame to where it came from, meaning you're not taking on more negativity than is due for you. When you start to really see what people are and who they are and how they're functioning, and if they're emotionally manipulating you or hurting you in some way, instead of misinterpreting that emotional experience as, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with me, and being re-wounded, we can interpret it as, wow, this person is not treating me correctly and I need to have a boundary. Boundaries will change everything. It's difficult when it's your family, but it's definitely possible. Instead of sharing your emotional experience in an intimate way, you have to have emotional intimacy with yourself and have a boundary around what you share. If you share too much with the wrong people, you will get hurt. It's almost like beating your head against a wall, right? When we're trying to get love from someone that doesn't have empathy, it's pretty traumatizing. When we start to realize this person doesn't have empathy, I'm going to keep my emotional experience to myself so I don't keep hurting myself, that's a win. So how do I talk to toxic people or family members is you stop talking so much, first of all, and realize maybe you need a surface relationship with certain people. Maybe you won't have that deep, intimate connection with certain people, not because of you, but maybe because of them. And instead what you do is you have that discernment and that boundary to start sharing those intimate moments with people that you have already proven trust with. Not all family members are trustworthy. Just because they're your family does not mean that they're not toxic sometimes. And so what we really have to do is, instead of feeling bad, feel valid. You know, I have this Truth Room Tribe. I have this monthly membership that I meet with every single week. And it's amazing how many people are starting to come forward in their 40s and 50s and saying, oh my God, my mom was toxic, or my dad was awful. And it takes so long to get to the point to admit it because we feel bad. But why are we feeling bad? Why are we feeling bad to see what's there? We're not saying I blame you for being a bad parent or a bad whatever, but we're saying I see your truth. And because I see your truth, I can now own mine deeper and take care of myself in the right way. So when you're talking to these people, I wouldn't ever blame, because it will be blame shifted right back onto you. I wouldn't ever defend. What I would do is speak your truth and say what you need and live in alignment with that need and not feel guilty or bad for having a boundary. See, when we're raised with a parent or parents who are emotionally invalidating or emotionally immature, we have a lot of guilt and confusion because our emotional experiences are not being met, and they're not being mirrored, and they're not being accepted most of the time. So the best thing we can do is mirror, accept, and validate ourselves. And in doing that, really following our inner guidance to where we should share and where we should maybe keep that for ourselves. As we build our emotional intimacy within ourselves, we start to heal deeper and deeper and deeper because we realize we don't really need that validation from anywhere else. We've always been longing for it from within. So that is my tip on this. Also, guys, I should mention Emotional Rehab, my 12-week online course dealing with all of this, has just launched for the second time. You can sign up with the link below. We will be closing enrollment pretty soon. So please get in the class now if you want to. If you're feeling called to heal those inner wounds, reparent those inner wounds, and heal those toxic relationship cycles with family and relationships. I should also mention that in this 12-week program, I do have a private Facebook group that I meet and do lives every single week. So you can answer or ask. You can ask any of your questions within the course, and I will answer them for you every single week. And as a special bonus, I'm allowing everyone who signs up to stay in the lives for a full year. So kind of amazing. Check that below. Please subscribe and share if you haven't already, and I will see you soon.